you guys should definitely, most definitely, 100%, with every fiber in my body, I can say this. You guys need to be reading fucking books, okay? Now, multiple reasons. First of all, everyone needs to be reading books. This is how you actually become smart, okay? So if you're ever wondering how to become like an intelligent individual, you just read books and you constantly learn things, okay? I'll give you a few reasons. First reason, okay? If you read fiction, so anything like that, it strengthens your your vocabulary. It makes your vocabulary bigger. It makes your if you're still in school, you got language arts or something. Oh, I'm telling you, it's gonna make you better at English language arts. You're gonna write better essays. You're gonna communicate better. You're gonna be more imaginative and provocative with your thoughts. With that out of the way, but let's mainly talk about nonfiction. Okay, so I got hella nonfiction books here. We got Fast and Slow. We got Subtle Art. We got 12 Rules. We have my e-reader. My e-reader has Atomic Habits on it, 48 Laws of Power, yada yada. All these self-help nonfiction books, and they have been so helpful. Okay. Here's the thing. See, guys, sometimes I just lack the ability to communicate properly. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. But anyways, yeah. Okay, so what was I saying? You read books. And reading books. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about nonfiction books is that you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. That's totally true. And this even works with things that aren't just in person. So it's not like I have to physically spend time with a person. I could absorb and become more like said individual by reading their literature. So when I read fucking Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, that's a very more scientific-ish book rather than just purely self-improvement. It's very more scientific. It's got a bunch of examples of trying to teach you things, right? And it's very high-level professional language. I literally find myself talking more like that. When I read Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I literally found myself more like the author Mark Manson. I found myself acting more in a way that the book is just subconsciously. It wasn't things I thought of. It's just because when you read, let's say I read Subtle Art for an hour a day. It's almost like I'm spending an hour a day in the author's mind. So in Mark Manson's mind. And not even consciously, right? So subconsciously, I pick up on some of his intuitive thoughts, his intuitive ideas, the way he talks. I become a little more like that, which is good when you read high quality nonfiction books. Imagine reading a book from imagine reading Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. You automatically become 25% more like David Goggins. You gain some of his traits just by reading it, because average of 5 person you spend around, you're technically spending an hour an hour a day with David Goggins because you're reading his book every day. So, first reason. But the main thing you read nonfiction books is for the actual knowledge and for the conscious absorption of this knowledge, okay? There is so much knowledge, so much high quality shit packed in these books that you can get for minimal cost. These books cost what, $20, right? $20, $15. You get an e-reader or something that costs $5 on your e-reader. So they're cheap, okay? There's not any reason why people anyone living in a third world country can't really afford just one book. Or bro, the fucking I completely forgot libraries exist. Libraries exist. Free books. Okay, so you really don't have excuse in that regard. And it gives you hella information. But one thing that I like is that it gives you hella information in a way that is very non-dopaminergic. So it's not going to fry your dopamine receptors. It actually feels fulfilling and enjoyable, okay? Because you can also absorb information by watching YouTube videos, but I find YouTube videos to be a lot more highly dopaminergic and have a greater effect on your dopamine receptors in your brain, which I don't like, okay? It's better than scrolling. Anything is better than fucking scrolling, okay? Me sitting in my room and I was about to say jerking off, but that's not better than scrolling. But you get my point, right? So these books are not only fucking free, so there's no excuse in that regard, but they're better, way better in terms of learning information than a YouTube video or something. So if you want to truly learn and do a deep dive into topics, books is the best way to do it. I was going to say something smart, but then I fucking forgot. I feel books also make you more imaginative, okay? But this is completely anecdotal. I don't have any research. I don't even have a script. This is a rant style video. But I feel books also make you more imaginative and just like an interesting person to be around. I find that when I read books, after I read books, I usually come up with better video ideas. I usually think more intelligent and productive thoughts as it relates to like my business and my works and shit. So that is another added benefit. One last thing I want to say is that reading books acts as sort of like a very deep dive into a topic, okay? You are sparsely ever going to be able to go as deep into a topic as when you read a book. So, because like, for example, like YouTube videos are only what, like 30 minutes long, 20 minutes long. You can watch a documentary, maybe it's an hour long or 2 hours long at the most, right? Unless you take like a specific course that's like extraordinarily long, but like, you know, course probably costs money. I can't imagine there being many free courses on YouTube or some shit. But for example, like Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. This entire book is a complete like deep dive that takes you hours and hours to complete. So you can really learn all the nuances about this topic. Thinking Fast and Slow is about like this, you know, your subconscious and your conscious brain. And this is like a super deep dive into this thing. This will teach you basically everything you need to know. I have Sapiens in like my bedroom that I'm reading right now. Sapiens is like a super deep dive into like human history. Okay, it's not like a super deep dive, but it's like a very like broad. You'll know everything you need to know about like human history and shit if you read Sapiens. So yeah, that basically sums up everything I think I wanted to say. The second part I want to make this video is just sort of like an announcement. This is gonna be a Oh yeah, actually this will not work. I was gonna originally have this video be the announcement for like my departure for vacation, but then I realized that this video is likely gonna be posted last. And if it be posted last, then the fucking notice doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Okay, but yeah, that's basically it. Okay, here's the thing. I would make a compilation of like, you know, the best books I recommend, but the thing is, it's like, dude, so many like people have made like, you know, best self-improvement books to read, tier list of self-improvement books, the 5 books that will help you fix your life. Like, here's the thing, okay, something about my content is I really don't want to repeat content. I only want to talk about the things that like are either new, or if they are repeated, I think they're very important. And so I feel like, you know, me peddling them would still like be helpful and beneficial to you guys. So, but you know, like if you guys do want my opinion, I think Atomic Habits is a crazy good fucking book. Atomic Habits is crazy. Let's see here. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck has helped me like moderately. Deep Work by Cal Newport has helped me a lot. 48 Laws of Power is kind of like it's like a weirder book because some of the things apply, but it's like some of the things also don't apply because it's like, you know, I'm still like a kid, so I'm not gonna be like assassinating my enemies anytime soon. But it's like, okay, you can read it. I want to read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That's like next on my read list. And another book I really want to read is The Count of Monte Cristo, because everyone says it's like it teaches you a bunch of life lessons, but it's still like a fiction book. It's still about like follows a story and everything. So I'm interested in reading that. Yeah, that's basically it for reading. If you want to know how to set up a good reading habit, let me know, okay, if you want to know, and then I'll make like a full like how to like start habits and break habits video, and then I'll follow like some principles I learned in Atomic Habits. That's basically everything for this video. Peace. Bye, guys. Anyways, yeah. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching.